Just state your position on this debate. Do you think that the OMT is illegal?
I think that the OMT reaches over into economic policy, and you have several indicators for that. So first of all, when you think that the OMT, if activated, would mean that the ECB is buying government bonds from particular countries, and thereby helps to improve refinancing conditions of those countries in trouble. And second, it requires an ESM program, and the ESM as such is a fiscal policy operation, a fiscal policy institution. And connecting with it is meaning that you have an overreach into economic policy.
Are you prepared for the consequences of a ruling that runs against the legitimacy of the OMT? Because whilst on the facts there may be a case for arguing in the way you've argued, do you not worry that the consequences of its removal would be very negative for the Eurozone?
Yes, the consequences would be very negative, and therefore I have advocated that the Constitutional Court in Germany follows the ECJ ruling in its outcome, but not in the argument brought forward by the ECJ, and with a dissenting argument providing further frontiers or borders for future ECB decisions. I don't think that the most difficult outcome of a decline of OMT, of ruling it unconstitutional today, would be regarding the impact of OMT on financial markets. I think that the conflict between national laws and European laws that would be the result of such a ruling would be very deteriorating for the European Union overall.
Do you think there is a case for suggesting that national law should overrule European law in this case? I mean, what is the key reason for having the German Constitutional Court looking at something which has already been looked at by others?
Well, in this case, the German Constitutional Court says that reaching over into economic policy is meaning that the European Union level, in this case the ECB, is acquiring additional competencies which have not been deliberately delegated to it by the national authorities. And this is meaning that we have a kind of EU overreach in that respect, and the Constitutional Court argues against that, which would mean that German institutions would not be allowed to conduct OMT policy. This holds with respect to the Bundesbank, but also with respect to the finance minister, who has to decide on an ESM program, which is the precondition for OMT to be activated.
There seems to be a lot of contention about if this were needed to be activated and if it didn't necessarily hold the line, there would be losses, and there would be pan-European losses, and who would be taking those losses? Would you say there is a lot of confusion in Germany and beyond about who loses money if indeed this policy were not to be completely effective and there was a huge paper loss on these asset purchases?
Well, I think there is some confusion about it. Of course, when there are losses, the ECB takes these losses, and there will be less money the national authorities get from the profits that the ECB is making. But still, the ECB is a European institution, and so a European institution is taking the losses. Only in case we have an end of the euro, which nobody is hoping for, then there will be larger losses for German taxpayers, and I don't see this coming. So in that respect, there is some confusion going on.